What's poppin', guys and girls? I'll be PMAT123 at your service, and it's time to talk. So yeah, this isn't the video that you'd expect me to come back with after all these months off, but I feel like it's a necessary one. I've been seeing a lot of videos about this topic lately, and I just thought it would be nice to give my take on it, my experience, and just open up a bit more, really, because I haven't really spoken about it that much, other than saying I have this. But yeah, I think this will be fun. I hope you get some enjoyment out of it. And yeah, let's get on with it and tell you about my experiences with Asperger syndrome. So the big thing to start off with is, what is Asperger syndrome? Well, to put it simply, it's a developmental disorder that's on the autism spectrum. Now, you may not hear the term Asperger syndrome come up a lot lately because people actually don't call it that anymore because, they're not diagnosed with it anymore. In 2013, people who fit in with the symptoms of Asperger syndrome are actually diagnosed with autistic spectrum disorder, which is pretty much the same thing, but it's just the name change. I don't know exactly why it happened, but there we are. That was 2013 when that change was made. I was diagnosed with it when I was younger, obviously before 2013. So I prefer to acknowledge my condition or disorder as Asperger syndrome rather than ASD, because I've been associated with the term for longer, and I feel like it sounds better, at least to me. I don't know about you. And like I said, I've been with this for my whole life. I've known it as Asperger syndrome since I was first told about it. I can't actually remember when I was first told about it. It was when I was like 3 years old. So in my case, I have what's known as high functioning autism. Now, a bit of a funny story about this. When I was first told about high functioning autism, I was a little bit confused because I thought that high functioning autism meant that the autism is like way up here, like you're skyrocketing or something like that. And low functioning autism was like, no, it's not that bad. So I thought I had low functioning autism, but it's actually the opposite. High functioning autism is where like you have the disorder, but you function as close to normal as is pretty much possible. But low functioning autism is where you have autism, but it also affects like motor skills, like your movement and your speech and things like that. So as you can tell, I'm not part of that. I'm on the high functioning side of things. So pretty much when it comes to Asperger syndrome, people with it have they see the world a lot differently to people without it. So but like they feel like different things. They have trouble with emotions when growing up, like understanding it, and this can make it maybe a bit troubling when you're growing up as a child, when you have these issues and you're struggling to understand things that are around you, like emotions, expressions, jokes, even even if something's meant as a joke. If I was like told something as a child when it was meant as a joke, I'd sometimes take it literally, and I also had trouble with sarcasm growing up, and I wasn't really sure of what it meant, and so I had to had to be taught how it all worked, really. So Asperger syndrome is actually more common than you'd actually think. There's actually from what I read, there's like 700,000 autistic people in the UK alone. So you're most likely to run into someone with autism and not know it. But yeah, at a first glance, you may not be able to see that someone has autism sometimes. Like if it's like low functioning autism, like you'd be able to see it right away. But if it's high functioning, like I am, I'm acting like a relatively normal person most of the time. So you wouldn't really know that I had anything on the spectrum. So pretty much that's the basics of what you really need to know about Asperger syndrome and like its history and how it's kind of changed over like the last few years from Asperger's to autistic spectrum disorder. But I think I'll move on to my personal experience with it now, and I think I'll start with behaviour. So with my behaviour, I feel like I'm acting like relatively normal most of the time, but I do have like certain little quirks or tweaks about me that may may not seem obvious at first, but if you like hang around me at some point, they may become obvious. Like for instance, like I may have trouble sitting still at some point, and I may like tap my fingers or make noises with my mouth or something. Just something to keep me occupied sometimes. I think that's mainly come more into effect, particularly when I got into drumming about 2 years ago. If you follow my Instagram, you'll know that I've posted a lot of covers on there recently, and I find myself sometimes doing sort of kick patterns with my feet on the floor, like this. I don't know if you can hear that, something like that, and it kind of keeps me occupied. Like maybe if I'm feeling nervous, I do that to try and calm me down or make me feel more at ease. Or maybe if I'm just bored and I need something to do, I just like do tapping on my knees or something like that. And yeah, that's one thing that's a bit quirky about me. Another quirk about me that I kind of find that's been pretty prominent in me over the past few years is like I like to have things like pretty clear to me. Like I don't want it just in black and white. I want all the colours of it, if you know what I mean. So like if I don't understand things, like if I'm being given a task at university or something, or if I need to do something, I need to make sure that I know exactly what I'm meant to be doing. So like for example, if I was at university and I was given a task, I may need it to be described to me a bit more, like explained in a way that I can understand, so I know what's expected of me going into what I'm meant to be doing. And it can also really affect me when there's any like major plan changes. Like for instance, there was a train strike earlier this week, which came down on a day when I'm meant to be in university, and it kind of like set me back a little bit, like took me aback, because like, oh god, how am I going to get in? Am I going to get in? Like, what am I going to do? So but yeah, it was pretty much obvious that I wasn't going to be able to get into university, but I did let my tutor know and everything, and we got everything sorted out. But it does get me like very anxious when there's like any like major plan changes like that, especially when there's like changes to my timetable, or if it's on holiday, if I'm on holiday or something and there's delays or things like that. But yeah, it can get a bit stressful in that respect. So those are pretty much some examples of what my behaviour with Asperger's syndrome can be like. Sometimes it could depend on how I'm feeling, if I'm feeling anxious about anything at the time, or if I'm just being just sort of stone face normal like this. But yeah, all in all, my behaviour pretty much depends on my mood and what's happening around me. Now this is a pretty interesting one here: interests and obsessions. People with Asperger's can get incredibly fixated on one thing or a set of things. Like if there's like a particular TV show, brand, product, place even, like they can become really associated with that, and like have a sort of an attraction to that thing, if you understand where I'm going with it. So for example, with me, very recently, well, I say very recently, it's like more like 3 years, and as you know, I've been heavily getting into collecting vinyl, and like increasing my collection of that. Since since I last made a video about it, it's grown pretty well. So much so that I've had to move it into a cupboard recently. One of the mirror cupboard that's just there, and and I've still got my record crate or case behind me, but that's only for the ones that won't fit in there. So that's full now, and I'm going to be moving others into here until I can get some more space for it. So yeah, that's one thing where my interests lie. And another example, it could be like TV shows, because I watched a lot of TV when I was growing up, particularly kids shows, and some of those shows that I watched back in the day still really stay with me. Like whenever I go back to them, I feel more relaxed and more happy even. So, for example, we have the Mr. Men series, specifically the 1975 series narrated by Arthur Lowe. I only had it on DVD here, which I've had for as long as I can remember. So I used to watch these DVDs religiously as a kid, and they still stay with me today. And now that I'm older, I can appreciate that this series was that, like this TV series and the book series were enjoyable as a kid, but are even enjoyable now. At least for me, I still get great enjoyment out of watching and reading these stories. And other examples like Thomas the Tank Engine, Bob the Builder, Peppa Pig. Yes, do not judge me. Shows like that, if I ever go back to those, I just feel more relaxed. Like I can just like let go, just forget everything that's happening around me, like stuff in the world, stuff in my life. I could just sit back and immerse myself, really. Another example that I kind of got back into in the last year or so is Doctor Who DVDs. I've got a massive shelf of them. Well, look, it takes up two shelves, like here and here, that has grown quite a lot in the past year, and I've even got to the point where I'm collecting the Blu-ray collection sets, which you saw in a recent unboxing from last year. When I get in the groove of collecting this sort of thing, like if I get one thing that I haven't had before, like for example, this one here, Delta and the Bannermen. When I got that, I was like, okay, I remember how good this was, and I really got back into collecting these. Like I'd probably get like one a week or something like that, or two if I had enough money. So yeah, if I have like a interest like that, that can go on for about like 2, 3, even 5 months probably. And like I could do without stopping, and sometimes I can get pretty reckless with it. I think the most reckless I ever got was when I got back into Bakugan when it had its reboot in 2019, and I just bought them non-stop. And now I've gotten out of that groove, and that's now they're just sitting up there doing nothing. But yeah, I mentioned vinyl. Another thing that's really, really big in my interests is music. Music has been a massive part of my life pretty much forever. Because I can remember back in the days when I was younger, my mother used to sing me to sleep. Don't ask me how I remember that far back. It's just this part that's embedded right here. Like I can see it in my mind's eye whenever I think back to that, and it's there like clear as day. I can remember it. You know, that's another thing I forgot to mention in terms of behaviour. I have a fairly good photographic memory. Like if like I can remember things like pretty much exactly as it happened. As I mentioned, with that sort of with like my mum singing to me to sleep when I was younger. Like if I remember like a certain thing that's happened to me, like for example, a certain interaction I've had with somebody, I can most likely remember it to a T. But yeah, back to music. It's been pretty much embedded with me since I was very young. I was in a school choir when I was in year one, I think. And then it moved up to the point where I don't know if you've heard of Young Voices. This sort of thing that schools get involved with, like whole schools get involved. Well, not really whole. Where like some year groups of a school get involved in this big performance at the O2. I was part of that in about year four, I think, and um, since then it kind of fell off. But then in about 2018, I took up singing lessons again when I was more settled into secondary, and I was performing a lot more in the school showcases, and that pretty much helped push me like further up into loving music. Now that's just a music experience with school, but I've also like experienced it a lot with the radio. Like I used to listen to a radio station called Magic on the way to and from my primary school, and I got it. There was a lot of fantastic songs on there that I still remember today, and even when I go back to them, like for example, there's this one song called Zoom by Fat Larry's band. I used to hear on Magic a number of times, and when I went back, when I heard that again, funny enough, when I was actually waiting to get my first COVID test, I heard that and I was like, oh my god, I remember how good this song was. So yeah, with me, things that I was associated with in childhood can like pretty much stay with me forever in some sort of way. Like I just get this sort of attraction to them, this sort of association with them that I just cannot break. Like if someone tells me this, if someone like even dares to tell me to stop, I'm just like, no, you're not getting me away. Oh no. But yeah, you can pretty much get the gist of how like interests and obsessions can affect me and in a way like everyone with Asperger's. Then this one's going to be pretty brief because I feel like this one's applies to me quite a lot, and you can get this one in some people with Asperger's. I feel like it just depends on what their interests are. But moving on to creativity, pretty much you're seeing a method of my creativity now with YouTube. I feel like I'm really able to express myself, express my creativity through YouTube with my videos, stuff like this, unboxings that I do, my YouTube poops especially, and I can also express that a ton through music as well. Like if I'm ever on stage in like a talent show or something, like or my showcase, if I was ever asked back to do that, I just really get absorbed into it, and I'm just able to express myself in a way that most normally I'm not really able to. And I feel like it's kind of like impacting my brain a lot as well, because a lot of people tell me that I'm really clever, and to be honest, in some extent I can agree with that, but like I feel like it's stuff like I'm clever with stuff that I'm interested in. So like for example, like music and stuff, I've got an immense knowledge in that. But if it was in math, if you were asking me to like solve a maths question for you, I'd probably have to look up like how to solve a trigonometry question again. I also took graphics at A level, and that really helped me to really flow with, like, let my creativity flow in a way. Of course I had to do it to set briefs and all of that, but I was able to like think up on my own ideas and just put them out. Really was able to do what my mind thought was right, really. Now this next one's pretty big. This is social media and interactions. Being a guy of the modern age and like the current generation and all of that, I rely pretty heavily on social media to keep me going through the day. Like I follow like some of my friends on there. I follow like different celebrities. I've even made new friends on there as well. But there is definitely downsides to social media as well. Like there's more positives than downsides, I find, but the downsides are pretty significant. For example, if like there's any like world issue going on in the world, I'm just never able to get away from it. Like my parents do tell me just to stop looking at it, but it's not easy. It's not easy to get away from it. Like for example, like Instagram has stories. Like if I'm ever flicking through those and like I'm just like, oh look, this is good, and then I just come across this world issue that I've seen earlier in the day and I'm trying to switch off of, it just all comes flooding back to me and it just ruins my day, and I just get off of it, just swipe it away immediately. It's like it's sort of a reflex I have. You know, like if I ever see something that I don't like, I'm just like, no, get away from me. But one positive that I have with social media is that I feel like I'm able to I feel like I'm able to talk a lot better on there. Like I'm not saying that I have trouble communicating in person, because like I've definitely been able to talk to people a lot more, especially in the last few years. But I just feel like there's a lot less pressure on me when I'm typing on my phone than when I've got someone face to face. Like I just Because like when I've got someone face to face, I always get this feeling that they're that I'm not going to get the reaction that I think I will, and kind of it kind of makes me really nervous. But when I'm typing on social media, I'm able to um, it just feels a lot easier to me. Like I feel like there's a lot less weight on my shoulders, you know. But yeah, with me saying that I interact better on social media than I do in real life, it's not to say that I'm lonely in real life. Believe me, I'm not. I've got lots of friends. I've got people I see at university each week, which is really great, because I've been able to become friends with them. I've got friends from my past in primary school that I still keep in touch with. And as mentioned, I've made friends online who've really helped me out over the course of the past few years, like getting me through secondary school and through COVID as well. Um, it was just really nice to have someone to talk to right there on your phone. The only difference being is that the time zones really screw you over sometimes. But yeah, one thing I do want to add is, like, if I'm ever talking to someone face to face, I feel like I'm able to communicate with them a lot better if they understand me, like understand like what I'm going through, understand the stuff that I'm talking about, so things like that. So like for example, I'm able to communicate well with my family because they understand my Asperger's. They've been with me all the way through it. If I'm talking to one of my university friends, they'll understand because it's about music, because I'm at a music university, and they sometimes share the same interests. And also, if I'm talking to someone with Asperger's, with autism, they're able to understand because they've gone pretty much through the same things as me. So in terms of like interactions, I feel like it kind of varies on who I'm talking to, the state of mind that I'm in, and pretty much like the method that I'm doing it. All right, final subject, and this is a doozy. This is opinions and politics. Now, especially in the last 2 years, I've become increasingly afraid of giving my opinion to people, particularly on social media. That's another downside of social media, is because everyone just everyone just attacks people so much on social media, and I'm terrified of giving my opinion on something for fear that I'm gonna get absolutely slaughtered for it. So like for example, if I like give my views on say the COVID vaccine, I'm worried that I'm gonna get a slew of anti-vaxxers um just kicking my ass for what I think, and I just don't feel secure with it. Like I feel like I'm a lot more trapped. Like I'm not able to let things be known. Like what I'm thinking, I'm just not able to express myself. Like feel like the only people I'm able to give my opinion to are friends who feel the same way, and my family who again understand. But with But if I just spout it, like if I'm saying something on my Instagram story or on an Instagram post, or God forbid Twitter, I'm just terrified I'm gonna get a ton of people who've never seen me before just 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 verbally just kick my ass for just saying what's on my mind, you know. And again, that goes for politics. In the past 2 years, I have come to the conclusion that I just do not care at all or cope well at all with politics, with all the stuff with COVID, how it's being handled all around the world, the stuff with George Floyd, and Black Lives Matter. What else is there? Russia and Ukraine nowadays. If you want me to get involved and say anything about that, or just like give my views, you'll have better chance of just pigs flying, really. I can't think of any better expression. I just do, it just stresses me out more than you can possibly imagine. And I will be honest with you, I've developed a ton of anxiety over the past few years because of it, because of COVID and the state of the world. It's just making me incredibly nervous. And particularly nowadays with Russia and Ukraine, I'm just terrified that we're not going to have a future. That and the political landscape is just incredibly tense. And it goes well with what I said about opinions. Like if I say my stuff, like if I say Boris Johnson is a see you next Tuesday, I'm just going to get slaughtered by it. And if it's just, I just feel like it's not the right landscape for me. I just do not cope well with it. I just prefer being to myself and just going about my life without having all these issues just being paraded about in my face. Like I'm just never able to get away from it. And having Asperger syndrome, that's really, really tough for me to handle because I want to get away from it. I can't. I want to try and do something to help. I can't. I want to change it. I can't. I want things to be as they were, just be at peace, but I can't, you know? And because of that, it's just really, really frustrating for me. And God, I'm out of breath after letting all that go. But yeah, I just feel like I'm a lot more secluded, that I'm not able to really just, like, you know where I'm going with this. Like I'm always finding new stuff to talk about. That's another thing that I have trouble with, talking about things in a way that people are going to understand. To be honest, that's what's kind of held me off from making a video about this, because I've always been worried that if I ever explain it, no one's really going to understand. Like general viewers, like if they come across it, they're not really gonna understand the stuff that I'm talking about. But if you do understand it, thank you. That's all I can say. But it's just, I find it really difficult to talk about this kind of stuff. I find it sensitive, and I just worry how people are going to talk about it, you know, like with me, like how they're going to react. But yeah, that was a slight deviation at the end there, but I feel like it was a necessary one. But yeah, to put it mildly, I'm scared to give opinions nowadays, and just don't talk to me about politics. But yeah, pretty much, I think I've covered all the necessary things that you really need to know about. So the last thing I can really say is just thank you. Just if you've made it this far, without like skipping all over the video to see something you'll be interested in, just thank you. Thank you for watching this, to take the time to listen to what I have to say about stuff that I've been through. I just feel really happy that I'm able to get all this off my chest, put it out there so that you guys can understand, and to be honest, like form a better relationship with each other, because I feel like I don't really have much of a relationship with my viewers. I want to know, I want to connect, really, you know. I just feel like I'm doing a lot better job with it now that I've got all of this through to you. But yeah, that's pretty much all. The only things I can really say is that I'm incredibly sorry that I'm not really posting as much as I used to. It's mainly because of writer's block. I'm not really able to, I can't really think of much else to put on here, and it's also mainly for fear that people aren't really going to like what I post, like I'm going to lose subs because of it. Not that subscribers are important to me or anything, I just enjoy putting content on here, but I just don't really want to turn people away. I just want to, my main goal with me making YouTube videos is just to make people happy, just to put a smile on people's faces, just leave them feeling better than they already were. If I was making them laugh or just giving them content that they enjoy, I just want to leave a good impression with people, really. And I feel like with this, I think I have a better chance of doing that. But yeah, just so you know, the channel's not dying. It's not going away. This isn't my final video or anything. I do have some things in the works, particularly of the YouTube poop variety. Yeah, those will be out when they'll be out. I have no schedule. Okay, I have no schedule. This stuff just happens in the time and manner that I want them to be done. And particularly with university nowadays, I feel like that time's kind of decreasing. So you may be seeing less videos, but that's okay because yeah, you can still find me. I'm on Instagram. That's where I'm most active. If you want to see some of my stuff, just follow me on Instagram. That's perfectly fine. It's the same username, RVPMap123. Just follow me on Instagram and you'll see more of what I'm up to on there. But yeah, all that's really left to say is, again, thank you guys so much for watching through this. I really appreciate it. If you did, leave a like, comment, and just share this video about with people. If you want more people to understand Asperger's, autism, just share them around to people and just let the word be known, really. So yeah, like, comment, and share, and subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell to know when all my videos come out. And as always, it's RVPMap123 signing off. Catch you later, guys.